What's up, Attack MMA? I'm your host, Zach Weiger. Today we got a very special guest. He's a professional fighter with a 6-2 record. I'll be fighting for a CFFC on June 16th. Please welcome Charlie Campbell. Charlie, how are you doing today?
What's up, bro? What's up?
It's awesome talking to you, man. And now you will be fighting June 16th. And how excited are you to be fighting after this long layoff?
It's been a long time. I'm real excited. That's just exactly the word to use. I'm excited, and it's been too long.
Yeah. And you will be going up a little step of competition with Josh Streacker, and he has a very unique style. So what are your opinions on him and his strengths and his fighting style?
Yeah, I think he's either 9-5 or 9-4 or 10-4, like something along those lines, but definitely almost double the amount of pro fights. So I'm excited in that to have a nice, well-rounded, mature opponent. The style's a little funky, so that looks like fun. And yeah, looking forward to getting to know him. And there's no better way to get to know somebody than inside a cage trying to kill each other, you know?
Yeah, and you mentioned trying to kill him, and there's someone that really doesn't get killed. He doesn't get finished, as he's never been finished in his pro career. So does it motivate you to be the first one to finish him on the feet?
Yeah, it's definitely why he's been submitted, or no?
I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I think he has.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to go too crazy thinking about things like that, but you know what? I know I'm well-rounded. I know I can dictate where the fight goes, and I'm comfortable in every single position and situation. So, yeah, if he hasn't been finished on the feet, it would feel a lot better if I win that way. But yeah, a lot of respect for him, and I'm looking forward to just finally doing it, you know?
Yeah. And we mentioned that it was a long layoff, that you have been out for a while, and because you've had the extra time to prepare, do you feel a little more prepared for this fight to previous fights?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, a lot. I've had a lot of time to do some soul searching. I've gotten better at so many things in martial arts as well as outside the gym, just developed as a person. It definitely helped me grow up a lot, having that time off. What happened to me was tough. It's tough to deal with, but if you have that positive mindset and I forgot the word they have, it's called like a reverse paranoid, an inverse paranoia. You know, anything that happens to you, you don't look at it like it was such a failure. You know, you just say, hey, you know what did I learn from it? Like, I had to just finally look back and say, what positives can I take from this, and just move on.
Yeah, and you mentioned like some of the out stuff you do, and I know that you listen to some podcasts and stuff to get your mind right. So, you want to emphasize on that a little more? Yeah,
there's nothing I can really say that gives enough credit and justice to guys like David Goggins, who have accomplished so much and are true inspirations to every single person who can give him a chance and listen to him. He can relate to everybody because of how much he's gone through and where he's come from. I also love listening to entrepreneurs and even doctors that now have their own podcasts that share a ton of information about your own health that you wouldn't get unless you went to medical school. So it's great to, you know, listen to these people speak that can inspire you and educate you instead of like music constantly, you know?
Definitely, that's very cool. And the last time we did see you, unfortunately, you did lose. So how important is it for you to right your wrongs and remind the people of who you are?
It's pretty important, but at the same time, I know that you never have a hater that's above you. Anyone who talks shit is someone who just wishes they were on your level. So, or they wish they had the kind of attention that you have, you know? So someone opens their mouth in a negative way about you, for anybody, that person couldn't show in a more clear way that they are beneath you in so many ways. So anyone who watched that fight could really tell that I was proving myself at a world-class level. So I'm out to prove that I'm still that guy, but at the same time, for all those people's opinions that do matter, not that like I really care what people think, but for those opinions of people that I do respect, at the same time, they're the same people that are educated enough to watch the last fight and say, you know, this kid is really good. But yeah, I've trained even harder, and I've learned a lot more since. I'm better than I was before that happened.
That's awesome, man. And that was the biggest stage you've been on as the Dana White Contender Series. So what lessons would you say you learned from either the fight or experience that helped you and you plan on implementing in this upcoming fight?
That anything can happen. Anything can happen. And it's like in every, you know, slogan with fight sports, every, you know, a lot of promotions, they love to say it, you know, it's like as real as it gets, anything can happen. And like you hear these things your whole life, but, you know, until it happens to you, then you really start to digest that's exactly what it is. Like, it's a fight and anything can happen. Even when you really feel like you're this close to winning, you could lose. So that's what makes it the most exciting sport in the world. So I'm not really too ashamed of what happened. I'm proud to represent my team here at LAW MMA. I'm here to, I'm proud to represent any kid who can relate to me, who doesn't have the ability to go and do what I do at a high level. I want to prove to myself and my family that my skills can work at the high level. I want to prove to everybody that, I am one of the best in the world, if not the best. And if it takes more time to make it, a fact on paper, that's fine. But I think anybody can look at any of my fights and say, wow, this guy can do well against almost anybody.
Yeah, and you mentioned that MMA is an exciting sport, and you in particular are an exciting fighter. So do you pride yourself on that you can always put on a show for the audience?
I guess I pride myself on it, sure, that's a good question. But at the same time, I'm not really trying to do anything. I guess that's what's to be potentially proud of, is like, it doesn't take much effort. I'm simply just going out there and performing my martial arts against another person. And if I'm, just pretty much doing more than other people do, it's just happening naturally, which is great. So that's something to be proud of. I'm definitely not trying too hard. And that's pretty cool. It's a good question.
Definitely. And now this fight, you'll be back in Atlantic City, and there's a place you fought in 2 times before. So how excited are you to go back into America's playground?
Yeah, no, I've actually fought there, Zach, like 4 times. Twice for the Ring of Combat, gotcha. Twice for CFFC. I fought for the CFFC 3 times, once in Pennsylvania, but this will be the 5th time in Atlantic City. So I am looking forward to it, and it's kind of cool because, prior to the Contender Series, I was thinking, man, who knows the next time I'm fighting out here on the East Coast, and it's like, bam, literally, and you're just like, hey, man, it's kind of cool to have people come out locally again, where Atlantic City from Long Island is considered local basically at this point for me. I used to fight at Westbury Theater for Flex Fight Series. I mean, it couldn't have been more local. So now fighting in Atlantic City as a pro, I try to tell people, because they'll say, hey, where's the fight? I'm like, oh, Atlantic City. And they're like, oh, what happened to Westbury? I'm like, dude, Atlantic City is local at this point. Like, the last one was in Vegas. I don't expect you to fly out west, but if it's an AC, bless me with your presence in the crowd if you can, you know what I mean?
You definitely heard that in your last fight especially, and you had a strong support system, and you probably heard it while you're fighting. We heard it in the crowd, or watching it on the live stream. So how much does it mean to you to have a support system like you do?
Honestly, I think a lot of people say it, and I'm not sure anyone who listens really is absorbing what fighters say when they literally say that it means everything, because especially when you go through a loss like I did, without the support system and the people that, have been with me from the beginning or have messaged me at some point throughout my career because they've become a fan one way or the other, like, it's when tough times happen that the support like I have is literally every bit of the reason why you get back on the horse. You know what I mean? So it is everything for me, and I appreciate people coming out. It's a Friday. Some people got to leave work early. Some people are taking the whole day off. Or some people are even working this is the best part. People work the whole day, and they're like, fuck it, I'll sit in traffic for potentially a 15-minute fight, you know what I mean? And hopefully they enjoy the remainder of the card that the CFFC has put together. But it means everything to me that people are proud of me and they want to come watch live. And if they can't, they watch from home. I'm always getting videos, and obviously with Instagram now, people are, tagging me on their story. They're watching it from their computer. Someone was watching the last one with the CFFC on the plane. They were like on their laptop going crazy on the plane. So, it means a lot to me because, when times get rough, it's like those people that are really there for you. And you kind of feel like you don't want to let them down. And there's so many levels to it, but they're everything for me.
That's really awesome, man. And you had a lot of people there last time. So how many people do you expect to be there for this fight?
I'd imagine somewhere between like 150 to 200 people. Yeah, and it's great because I have my teammate Dennis Bazookia. Yeah. He's got his Albanian gang coming out. He's selling probably 200 tickets himself. Yeah. They are well aware who I am. My fans are aware of who he is. Yeah. So that goes hand in hand. Damian Nelson also fighting from our team on the card. Damian's a beast, and he sold some tickets as well. So it's cool, the three of us getting to, exchange each other's fans' energies and whatnot. But I got a great team, and a lot of people coming out, a lot of people watching from home, and it's going to be cool,
Definitely, for sure. and that you mentioned, that's a lot of people that are going to be there, and the energy should be loud. So do you feed off the energy of the crowd?
I feel like a lot of people want me to say yeah, but at the same time, like, you know, you don't really want it to. You know what I mean? So like what I work on and the things I execute, it's as if I'm walking into a dead space with me and my eventual opponent, and a ref is saying, "Go ahead, you can go now." So you know, like, but of course I can't help. I have, you know, I could see people as I'm coming out. I hear them. I'm making eye contact with loved ones constantly. So yeah, there definitely is a level of energy that I get from that. There's no denying that. Yeah. 100%. Yes.
That's awesome. And you mentioned the energy of your last fight, and during that last fight, you did win KO of the year for CFFC. So how special was it for you to win that prestigious award, and what do you recall from that fight?
Yeah, we could do a whole episode on that one day, dude. First of all, it was crazy because, that was definitely crazy on so many levels. And I was able to get that post-fight interview with CM Punk for the CFFC also, and from there I had the ability to express my thoughts. I had some close friends who had fathers who passed away from cancer. I was expecting a post-fight interview in December of 2021, and I was so ready to dedicate the fights to those men that I knew and that passed away, my friends' fathers. And that even though internally I felt like I had dedicated the fight to them, I wanted them in the crowd to hear it from me that this is the reason why I went out and performed. And I felt like that was taken away from me a bit. So here comes April of 2022, and the opponent shows up, you know, 8 pounds over the weight limit. The commission's freaking out. The CFFC's like, we can't even, you know, what are we supposed to do? They're not going to sanction this event. The guy's got an extreme advantage. He couldn't even, I mean, it was a disaster, but I signed like 3 additional waivers and contracts saying I understand no one's liable for my potential injuries. This guy's got an advantage. In the back of my head, I'm going, there's no way I'm not fighting, because I know that I have these specific friends of mine that are going to be in the crowd, and I wanted to dedicate the fight to their late fathers. So that was pressure. Like, I enjoy fighting, I enjoy training, I enjoy the whole thing, the whole process. I enjoy same with you. And it's like, man, that's where the fun was taken out of it for a minute, because I was like, this motherfucker showed up fucking overweight on like the fight. So I basically accept the fight. My manager and I had to, you know, pretty much really convince the commission that we were okay. You know, because a lot of fighters are like, oh, I'll fight anybody, blah, 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 blah. You know, a guy shows up 8 pounds over and he's all jacked up, and that's questionable to begin with, what he looks like. But it's like, all right, well, you know, I'll do it anyway. And I'm thinking, like, is this the smartest thing? Probably not. But that's it. This has been you know, postponed too long to dedicate a fight to my friend's dads. You know, so I was like, I'm doing this shit. I don't give a fuck. And I had to get on the Contender Series, which ultimately didn't work out. But like, it was completely fine. Again, I have this, you know, inverse or reverse paranoia where whatever happens, I take positives and just move forward, you know.
That's really cool, man. And you mentioned that CM Punk interviewed you, and you've walked out to wrestlers' theme songs before with Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Should we expect to see another wrestling entrance for this fight?
All I can say is you might. And I'm not saying that to hint, really. I'm just saying, like, I haven't even picked a song yet. That's why I saw it. But those WWF, WWE songs are like always a top consideration.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's vintage. It's amazing stuff.
Yeah, and we're here at LAW MMA today. So how would you describe your experience training here, and what are your relationships like with your coaches and training partners? Amazing,
amazing. I love every second of it. This gym, especially, I walk in here and the energy's so high. I walked in here, I think about 6 years ago, and from that moment, it was just like so welcoming. I train at Royal Jiu-Jitsu, I train at Vanguard Jiu-Jitsu. We just have a great energy. Everywhere I go, it's all about the energy. I want to feel positivity from teammates, coaches, and you are a product of the people you have around you. So this place being one of them, you know, I have a huge team. We have myself and probably another 15 pros that are extremely active. Maybe of those 14, 15, like 8 of them are lightweights. So I'm like spoiled, you know, and we have each other, and that's why we're ultimately, you know, growing and climbing so high to the top. Even the 45ers mix in with us, and We don't throw the word family around too much, but this place definitely is similar to that, and all the other gyms that help me out. Even all the help I've gotten in the past with Matt Serra, that gym especially too. Everyone's so tight knit. Something about Long Island, and everyone says, "Oh, Long Island, something in the water. Everyone's so tough." It's like there's also something to be said for the family feeling that Long Island gives. I don't know what exactly it does, but this team is without this team, who knows where I'd be.
Definitely, man. And you mentioned that 8 lightweights, probably there's more. So there's immense talents of elite lightweights. So how's it like to train with people at your weight on a daily basis? I
feel spoiled, but training with them, I feel spoiled, and I feel blessed. And it's funny, I named, like I said, I didn't name them, but 14, 15 pros, maybe 8 of them lightweights. That's just pros. I mean, we also have like a lot of other big gyms, but I'm just trying to say we have amateurs, of course, looking to go pro, and behind them are a lot of talented individuals coming up looking to, make their amateur debut soon, and they're looking up to us. They want to go pro soon. So having that like ladder, of coming in, people want to compete soon. They want to go amateur with the intention to eventually go pro. And like when I came in here, I had so many guys to look up to. I hadn't even fought as an amateur 6 years ago, and I got active so fast. And it's just without having something ahead of you and someone like a real good role model to look up to. Like I'm blessed to have guys like Aljamain and Ali Quinta. It's even great to see what he's doing outside the cage. You know what I mean? Like we have these guys, and I'm spoiled. I'm blessed. I'm never going to take it for granted. And without them, you really don't have any guidance, you know what I mean? So the same thing that I've gotten from these guys from the moment I walked in here, and still to this day, how I've grown closer to them, I want to be there for the future generations of guys that Long Island produces.
Definitely, man. And you mentioned Aljo, and thinking of Aljo, thinking of a lot of guys here, there's been a lot of recent success at LAW MMA. So how's it like seeing Aljo retain the belt, and for Volo making it to the rankings, Nas winning his debut, help motivate you?
There are no words that can, really do it the justice. Of course, I was in the crowd there for Aljamain. I flew out to Vegas, and I was in the crowd for Aljamain as well as for Vola. I was out in Vegas for Nas's debut. These things are all possible for myself. Of course, I know that. These guys are out there proving it. We're in the same room together. Yeah. So, how much more inspiration could you ask for? It means everything to me.
Yeah. And you mentioned family, and you guys are family as you guys corner each other. And I know you cornered Dylan Mantella recently. You've cornered probably other fighters before. So how's it like being in the corner rather than fighting?
Yeah, me and Dylan are real tight. I've cornered him a few times. It's definitely different. Yeah, I would rather be the guy going in there, because when you have so much love for somebody, like obviously I have love for myself, but at least I could go and be the guy in there, But when you have so much love for somebody and you really can't control, that much, and you have to be the trustworthy, eyes for this guy on the outside and communicate well. It's different responsibilities completely. Cornering is something I'll probably be doing for a long time, and doing it with Dylan has definitely been special. I've been there for a lot of ups and downs for him, and he's on the way up too, man. The kid's good.
Definitely. Two great fighters, you and him. And to give one of your promotions a little shout out, I know you got Suplex Soap, so let's inform the fans and a little about your own company.
Yeah, that's been a great learning experience, aside from everything else, the martial arts provides me, becoming an entrepreneur and starting my own soap business for athletes. Suplex Soap, SUPLEX soap.com. That's been, a big roller coaster, but ultimately I'm making progress, putting one foot in front of the other every day. And we have our products made here in Long Island, based with essential oils, so it's a great antifungal and antibacterial product. We have now 4 products on our catalog that are body washes that are great. They're specifically made for combat athletes, jiu-jitsu guys, wrestlers, MMA fighters that are exposed to maybe like the ringworms and other bacteria gyms can kind of give you. But yeah, it's amazing. We also have some everyday people that are loving the product. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been fun kind of piggybacking that company aside my career right now. It's kind of cool.
It's really awesome. And without looking over your next fight, where do you see yourself in the near future in the MMA landscape?
Definitely in the UFC within the next, I'd say, 6 months. I'd say that's being realistic. If they, want a few more fights, I don't know, anything can happen, But they like guys that have gone on that show and performed. I didn't win, but I performed, and ultimately, I'm entertaining. I'm not even trying to be, but I'm entertaining, and I'm fun to watch, as you've said, and everyone's told me who has ever seen me fight. So I think that's what they want. So staying healthy is probably the biggest priority, and it's inevitable that it's going to happen for me.
My final question for you is, if you could send a message to Josh Streacker, what would you tell him?
Looking forward to meeting you, bro. I know it's going to be a good one. I don't doubt you or the team you're from. So we're definitely going to do it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's awesome, man. Is there anything you want to plug before you head out of here?
No, we got a lot in. I appreciate you and your time, bro.
Awesome, man. Folks, that'll be all for today. Until next time, peace.